In the words of Vince McMahon,
This is the XFL.
week number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. XFL week number 6 picks. What a season the XFL has been so far. What a breath of fresh air. Compared to the AAF last year, this league is definitely getting better and better. That is for sure. And I am happy to say that another good week has come by us, but there were a lot of upsets last week. A lot of upsets. Unfortunately, that hurt me in the thing. The upsets always hurt. So I went 1-3 last week. And my overall record, since I went 1-3, 2-2, 3-1, 3-1, and I'm back down to 1-3. Oh, this is a rough week, mainly because one team dominated, which we'll get to in a second, with backups, and one got right past it. One completely stunk up the bed. Team stunk up the bed, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about XFL week number 6 picks. Before I go that, my record, give me 1 second here. So I was 9-7. Actually, wait. I was 1-3, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, 10-10. I'm back to 500 after being 9-7 last week with the 3-1 record. I'm back to 500. So you know what? Week 5 and having a 500 record, that's not that bad because the XFL definitely has had some interesting football, and it's going to have another interesting week this week. So, with that being said, let's talk about the first game on the list. This is 2 p.m. Saturday on ABC. It is the Houston Roughnecks versus the New York Guardians. This game is in New York, and the Roughnecks are 6.5-point favorite. Who do I got and why? 1-3. Oh my God, you Tubby. Oh, you dumb. You moron, Romy. Anyways, let's talk about the Houston Roughnecks and the New York Guardians game. This is the third game in a row that Luis Perez is starting. He is 2-0 so far. They went into Dallas last week and absolutely dominated in the fourth quarter against the Renegades. The Renegades playing without Landry Jones, and it really hurt them. We'll get to that in a little bit. The Guardians, though, they have not lost. We're on a team, no necks. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's a good point. Or no, if Mr. Casual was on the Roughnecks, it'd be the No Necks. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying, Luis Perez is leading his team to 2 wins in a row. They have not lost in MetLife Stadium yet, and they're coming off a big win. They're bringing in the best team in the XFL, and the Houston Roughnecks. They are 5-0. They have not lost yet. They got another big win last week. And that was my only team that won last week. So the Roughnecks offense is still looking great. PJ Walker, and Cam Phillips are dominating the XFL in regards to passing combos. And this is a tough game because the Guardians defense did play very well last week. And they played well against the Vipers too, held them down pretty well. Can they stop the Roughnecks though? My answer is no. I just think Houston is too good of an offense, even with James Butler emerging as a top running back as well. I just like the Houston Roughnecks here in this game. I'm going to say Houston will win this game. I think it will be close, like all their games have been. I think it will be close. I'm going to say final score 31-24. Give me the Roughnecks. Now let's move into the next game on the list. This is a game on Fox Sports 2, which unfortunately I think is only available on mobile or like if you have a cable package. And this is going to be a very interesting game. It is the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Tampa Bay Vipers. This game is in Tampa, and the Battlehawks are 2.5-point favorites. Who you guys got, and who I got, and why? So that's simple, but to many of the Dallas receivers that dropped balls last week, what happened to my hands? Oh yeah, the Tampa Bay Randy Orens. Yeah, that is actually a good point. The Tampa Bay Randy Orens is actually pretty funny. But Tampa last week lost a heartbreaker to the LA Wildcats. They lost by throwing interception, having that pick six come back. They would have tied it if there was no pick six or if they didn't cause turnovers. But unfortunately, Tampa Bay, with a decent offense they are turnover prone as hell, which sucks. Because I know Randy Orton definitely turns over a lot too. He turns from heel to face a good amount too. But the Battlehawks last week against DC looked absolutely terrible. They had no run game whatsoever. Their offense looked extremely flat against the DC defenders. And the Battlehawks are coming off a tough road loss where both of their losses this year happen on the road. And they're having to play a Tampa Bay Vipers team who can definitely play pretty well. My thing is, though, Jordan Tomlin and the Battlehawks need to really prepare themselves well for Tampa Bay's run-first offense. They have a very good run-first offense, the Tampa Bay Randy Ortons. They have a very good run-first offense, and that is definitely going to be a problem because DC played a similar game and lost. I mean, St. Louis lost a similar game, even though they're a run-first offense, too. The problem is, though, the St. Louis team, I think they'll definitely score more points than last week, but I'm going to go with the Vipers here. I just like them home. And I think their defense just had a really bad game last week, and I think that they're going to rebound strong here. Give me the Tampa Bay Randy Ortons to win against the St. Louis Battlehawks. I'm going to say final score Tampa Bay 31. Actually, no, I'm not going to get a different story. Tampa Bay 28, St. Louis 24. That is my pick for that game. Now we get into the next game on the list. This is Sunday's games, and Sunday is the Eyes of March, if you guys don't know. And it's also my mom's birthday, which I'm excited for. This should be fun. So we got another game on Fox Sports 1. It is the Dallas Renegades against the DC Defenders. This is going to be my lock of the week. If you guys do not know, the DC Defenders are 4.5-point favorites over the Renegades. And my thing is here, the Dallas Renegades, their offense looks completely flat without Landry Jones. Their offense is just not that good. Philip Walker is not the answer. He just looked terrible against the New York Guardians. They barely can move the ball that well. They had to run the ball, but there was nothing in that run game. DC looked strong last week after losing 2 in a row, and I expect them to repeat that performance at home because they have not lost at home yet, and they outscore opponents pretty well there. So I'm going to go with the DC Defenders as my lock of the century of the week. I'm going to say DC wins this game 34-17. I think this game will be a complete blowout. Not much said here. This is just going to be a rough game. And finally, the last game of the week. This game is on Sunday on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the Los Angeles Wildcats versus the Seattle Dragons. This game is in Seattle, and the Wildcats are 2-point favorites. Who do I got and why? Oh, this is the toughest game I think to pick, personally. The Seattle Dragons are, without doubt, the worst team in the league, and I just do not like their team. The only win they got this year was home against the Tampa Bay Vipers, and they barely won. They shouldn't even won that game, to be honest. Or, I'm sorry, the Tampa Bay Randy Ortons. But the Wildcats here, what the heck happened? Because in 2 weeks, you had 1 week in a row, 1 week you had a terrible game. You had a great game against DC. Then you looked absolutely awful against the Guardians. And now you came in and got a big statement win over the Vipers. And now you're back on the road against the Seattle Dragons. Oh, God, this matchup just reeks. This is going to be a tough one to pick because I don't like either of these teams right now. I just don't. I like the fact that BJ Daniels was able to compete somewhat last week. The problem here is I just don't like the rest of Seattle's roster. Oh, God. You know why they're the worst? Puff the Magic Dragon. Okay, that's pretty brilliant. Yeah, they should have Puff the Magic Dragon Seattle's logo because that's what most of their team has been representing over the past few weeks. They're in the lowest point total on offense compared to everyone else in the rest of the league. And they were able to almost beat St. Louis, and they lost to Houston last week. The Wildcats, I think, just going to roll now after that big win over Tampa Bay. They exposed the Vipers' defense. because the Vipers had one of the top. I think they had the top defense in the league before last week, and the Wildcats here are definitely. I think they definitely got their groove. And Josh Johnson, the former quarterback for the Redskins, NFL journeyman, I think he's going to do enough with him and Trey McBride to get the win over Seattle. So I'm going to pick the LA Wildcats here. I'm going to say final score LA 30, Seattle 25. That's my prediction. But this game is probably going to be one of the weirdest games of the week to predict because I could see Seattle winning it personally with BJ Daniels. But the problem is both of these teams I don't think are as good as some of the other teams before him. Because right now, if you guys look, I can go ahead and pull back the live stats. I mean the live power rankings. And here are the power rankings officially for XFL. Seattle is the worst team statistically. LA, the only reason why they're ahead of Tampa Bay is because they won last week. But Tampa Bay still, as a 1-4 team, they're ahead of Dallas, who right now I think they're in serious trouble. Seattle, I think, is just barely a step above them. So, yeah, that's gonna go ahead and do it, guys. Oh god, wow, crazy Cougars. Yeah, the LA Wildcats. Yeah, that would be actually a pretty good name, though. Crazy Cougars. That would be pretty funny to say as well. So, yeah, Houston, though, they're 5-0. They're undefeated. PJ Walker looks like a stud roaming, and Cam Phillips looks like the best receiver in the league. Even PJ Walker, the quarterback for the Houston, he looked like he could be an NFL quarterback by next year. So we'll see what happens there. And that's going to do it, guys, for XFL week number 6. Last week was my most viewed XFL week pick'ems video last week. Let's make this video right here the most viewed video because I want to get more views on this, guys. I want to get more traction to this. It seems like it's getting better and better each week in regards to traction, in regards to my XFL picks. So if you guys can like this video, comment below what are your XFL week 6 picks, and also share it to anybody who loves XFL football or anyone loves football in general. So with that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. See you guys later. Stay awesome. Let's go Tampa Bay Randy Ortons, and have a good night, everybody. Peace.